Racing along the river bottom, the iguana flees toward an uncertain future. It's not individual hunters jeopardizing the reptile's survival.
A big one, darling. This one.
The iron hand of development is the greater danger. Digging up streams for gravel to build new housing. Even the loudest protesters are ignored, themselves threatened. But there are conservationists working to protect this magical environment. And row by row, creature by creature, they are saving the precious riverine forests. Even though time may not be on their side. Located on the Yucatan Peninsula, Belize is a sanctuary for these extraordinary creatures. But this land is under siege, and conservationists in Belize struggle to save a place they call paradise. Rushing down from the Maya Mountains, the great rivers of Belize quiet as they flow into their middle reaches. An entire universe of wildlife depends on these narrow corridors of land along the riverbanks. These riverine forests are magical kingdoms. And more, they support a traditional culture, a way of life dating back centuries. Frank Clark supports his large family on the Saboon River's bounty.
I hunt along the Saboon River, I fish on the Saboon River. There's a lot to be seen along the river. I like to watch the male iguanas displaying. They usually sit up on the trees and shake their heads and long the thing out on their neck.
The dewlap under the chin not only attracts females, but 3 generations of Frank's family.
We've been eating iguanas from like I was 10 years old. I used to come up the river with my father and catch them, and now he's dead, so I start doing it with my kids.
Green iguanas bask on high branches, munching vegetation safe from all but the boldest predators.
Anyone up there for a kick? Yeah, Timo, come in. All right.
Frank's son, nicknamed Fry Cake, will go to any ends to shake loose dinner. Not a commercial hunter, Frank provides for himself.
I got a big family. I got a family of 10 plus 3 grandchildren. They really love to eat iguanas. My wife prepared it, put the eggs in the plate and everything, and it really goes good.
It's in the spring that iguanas deposit their eggs. They burrow into the earth, where females lay about 40 at a time. These breeding banks are ideal for the reptiles. If undisturbed, the eggs will hatch in 3 months. Motherhood ends here. She abandons the nest, leaving the eggs guarded only by secrecy and a deep layer of sand. But these ancient survival tactics are no match against a modern mechanized world. The gravel is mined to build housing, and the homes bring in more people and more commerce, a circle of development tearing apart the iguana's breeding ground, destroying the future by the shovelful.
The mining that is happening in Supreme River affects the iguanas a lot. This area used to be a big sandy beach, but they dug it out and now the iguanas have nowhere to lay their eggs.
And when the slow-moving lizards can't dodge the tread of civilization, the only way to save them is to save their eggs. An egg transplant.
Right now what we're trying to do is rescue as many iguana eggs as possible. This time of the year, that's the prime time for green iguanas to lay the eggs in the dry season.
Tony Gurrell runs the Tropical Education Center at the Belize Zoo. When he was just 9 years old, his interest in nature led him to discover a new butterfly species. Now he's come to save the green iguana. Hundreds of eggs have been collected so far this spring, all of them carefully watched.
This is the underground solar incubator where the eggs will stay for about 90 days. The percentage of hatching success varies from year to year, but it's much higher than what it would be in the wild, because in captivity you can monitor the eggs, get rid of the ones that are bad, and you can prevent predation.
Predation is no concern to Tony at his home.
Nobody goes inside my house because they know there's a huge snake inside there. Nobody mess with me. Right now she's a little bit feisty because I think she's... Well, I've always been a big fan of reptiles. One of them was a Burmese python. Got it when it was a baby about close to 20 years ago. Little did I realize how big this snake was going to get. He was putting on almost a foot a year. And now she's about close to 17 feet. Wow. And she's the best pet I've ever had.
In the forests west of Tony's home, Robin Brockett rehabilitates wild animals kept illegally as pets. Her goal is to return them to the forest.
What I proposed was to develop and establish a holding facility with confiscated wildlife. And then there's a potential to repatriate some of those species. And because I've learned so much about howlers, that was going to be the first species to repatriate to the wild.
The difficulty for Robin is caring for the animals, but not caring for them too much.
I have formed an attachment to them. I want to know that they're going to do all right. But the whole thing is, I don't want them as pets. They're not appropriate pets. And they're happiest when they're out here. That's the best thing for them. That's what makes me happy, is knowing that I've done as much as I can to prepare them. Now he's acting aggressive towards me.
She fears the young howlers may lose their social skills, the ability to live in troops. That could spell death. To reacquaint the tamed howlers to the wild, Robin lives out in the bush and prefers it that way.
Since I was little, I always wanted to live alone in the jungle. And so I'm really making this dream come true, finally. And I always wanted to do something like this. It was just a matter of this many years finding out if I could do it. And so far, so good. I did without a lot of stuff. I didn't have stairs for about 2 months, so I just had a box on the outside and I jumped up. It was good exercise. Just got the screen doors up a couple months ago. I didn't have any furniture in the house. I didn't have a bed. I had a tent set up inside. A must in Belize, at least everywhere I've been in Belize. This is my security system, such as she is. No, she's very sweet, and she can be very aggressive. I didn't have a shower until the following year, but I did have a few animal cages. That was the priority because I actually got the first howler before I even had the house here.
Conditioning the animals to the wild requires sacrifice, and she makes do, although she can't always work alone.
Umberto Waller's from the Belize Zoo. I needed him as a backup because I was grabbing the monkeys up without a tranquilization, and he's done that before, so it made it a little bit more secure for me having him alongside. Okay. Umberto is going to be involved in the post-release monitoring.
Robin has chosen a stable stretch of forest, remote and safe from development.
It's about a 30-minute walk from the river to the relief site. About halfway there, Umberto. It's totally inaccessible during the rainy season, so we're hoping to get enough data collection in the next 3 months before the rains start and we can't get across the river anymore. What we'll do is what's called a soft release. They'll be moved to the site and held in a holding cage for about 3 days, so they visually acclimate themselves to the area. They'll pick out landmarks and they should slowly move out and establish a home range from that area.
Robin knows she's battling the odds. There is real risk returning the animals to the wild, and she may be putting their lives on the line.
Iguanas are all over this place. You know, sometimes you see them moving, sometimes they're still in the tree, you can see them. Like, there's one there, if you could spot them, you'll see them.
Marcos Manzanero is a local artist who has taken iguana protection to heart. To him, they are a part of his nation's culture, and he's turned over his property to them.
Like you see, I protect the iguanas. It's been like many years now that I'm doing this. You know, like you see now, we have hundreds of them here. They feel protected, they live here.
For now, the Mopan River where he lives is free of major development.
My life, living here with the iguanas, they're my inspiration. While I paint, I see them, how they're moving, how they're coming. They really inspire me because, you know, they're part of me. They live with me here. This is how I show the people, through my art, the beautiful paradise that could be done if we all help it instead of destroying it. The hummingbird, this hummingbird here, he knows me good everywhere I go. See, he's feeding. He just come and feed his little baby. We need the river, we swim in the river. Actually, before we have running water in the village, this is what we used to drink every day, water from the river.
Above the river, colonies of Orapendula birds knit their bag-like nests, which protect their young. Fortunately for the Orapendula, grown iguanas usually prefer vegetation. The males fall all over themselves in their search for mates, and the weaving females battle over nesting materials. Just 30 miles from the nation's largest city, on the banks of the Belize River, eerie cries haunt the forest gallery. These howler monkeys survive side by side with development, and their success is no accident. Fallet Young helped unite landowners and conservationists in an effort to save howler habitat. Their program is called the Community Baboon Sanctuary. In Central America, the howlers are threatened, but thriving populations are still found only in Belize.
This is one of their favorite, leaf. This is a trumpet tree, locally known as, and Cecropia, the botanical name. But just like how the local people love their rice and beans, to me, the Cecropia and the fig is the same thing for the monkeys. Rice and beans for the monkeys,
Known in Belize as baboons, the howlers have found sanctuary among Fallet's neighbors and friends.
The local people had a strong respect for the monkeys because of their so many actions like us human beings, you know. And to mention a few quickly, the way they use their hands, you know. They could communicate by facial expression, you know. The way the mother tend their babies.
The Community Baboon Sanctuary at Bermudian Landing goes to great lengths to protect the local troop. The school children rig ropes and staves to build a bridge to cross forest land that's been cut by road building. Loss of habitat is one of the biggest threats to the monkeys.
So to try and protect this very particular, very important group of monkeys right in the village, that is the reason why we are putting up this baboon bridge. Dogs are passing through, somebody passing through with 3-4 dogs behind them, because monkeys don't like dogs, dogs don't like monkeys. So, wait, let it go. Pull! This will definitely be strong enough for the monkeys to take all members at the same time, you know. And I am pretty sure that this troop, the school troop, whenever they come at this spot here now to cross, I think they're going to use it.
There's a bonus for protecting the howlers. The monkeys have turned Fallet's community into a tourist attraction. Here, the bearded primates can be clearly seen from the ground.
And sometimes they almost shake hands. They can't really believe it. Many of them say that they get closer to them than in a zoo.
Where the howlers are protected, the big green reptiles are less fortunate. This is a special treat for Frank and his family.
Karina, Adrian, Junjun, Shakira, Andrew.
I was born and I grew up eating iguana. It's been a traditional meal in Belize for centuries.
I like the eggs of the iguana the best.
Really, it tastes like chicken, man.
Last year we had quite a lot of iguana to eat, and this year we found out that it's getting scarce. They don't.
With gravel mining making iguanas scarce, Frank must find other food sources to supplement his family's diet. But the Hickory turtle is in worse shape than the green iguana. It is considered endangered. Frank's way of life is becoming as threatened as some of the animals he hunts. If Tony Gorell of the Belize Zoo gets his way, the iguana will have the same protection as the Hickory.
The Hickory is a herbivorous turtle. They feed on vegetation. They're very primitive. It's the only species in its family. Their existence is definitely threatened. We're collecting as many as possible, marking them, weighing them, and all the data that we collect over the years, we're going to compile it. This turtle really needs to be protected because they're heavily hunted, and their populations are being depleted.
Much depends on the health of the river. Trouble downstream may be explained by what's happening upstream, where Frank makes his home.
This was a beautiful sandy bank that used to be a very nice habitat area for iguanas, but it's almost gone, I would say.
Though populations of green iguana are also declining, the Iguana Project is turning the battle in favor of the reptiles.
Whoa! Some of them hatched. I have at least 3 of them in here. After the baby iguanas hatch, we keep them inside this holding cage for about a year, and then we turn them loose in the same areas where they were, where the eggs were collected.
These hungry young lizards eat everything. They are easy to keep in captivity, unlike the howler monkeys, which need free space to flourish. That's why Robin is anxious to return the young howlers to the riverine forest.
I'm definitely attached to them and obviously concerned about how they're going to do. They're a little nervous because everything's new to them still.
The progress of the young monkeys is carefully tracked with yellow ribbons. Robin and Umberto study their movements to record how these former pets answer to the call of the wild.
Obviously, they need to find food sources. That's their most important survival tactic. And then avoiding predators is the next one. And they've already demonstrated that they can do both from all the training that they went through before this.
But training is no guarantee of survival. Tony Gurrell releases hundreds of iguanas into the wild, but that's not enough. Thanks to other programs at local eco-resorts, his efforts are multiplied. Visiting children get the treat of naming and returning them to nature.
Diana Iguana. They'll name him Icky.
Iguana programs like these give reason to be optimistic about the reptile's future.
What else can you tell us about iguanas, Max?
The iguanas have a third eye. See there? That little bump right there? That's like a sensor, so whenever they're turned around, and they can feel like somebody's coming to get them.
Months have passed since Robin set the 2 young howlers free. In fact, she has not seen them at all since the rainy season.
Couldn't get across the river. It's been about 2 months since I've seen them. So I'm desperately trying to find them right now.
The jungle is full of predators, and the inexperienced howlers could make easy prey.
Heard the howling, so I kept moving this direction and looking for them.
After hours of scouring the forest, Robin was stunned.
It's really exciting. Thrilled that I could find them. And this wild male found them somehow, and I'm assuming that this is his territory. It's really exciting that they're doing so well and that they're doing so well with wild howlers. It means that their social skills were more than adequate for them to be accepted with this troop.
With the howlers back in the wild, one important struggle is won, but a larger one looms. This magical kingdom of river and wood is being dug up and reshaped in the image of the modern world. And that's affecting the lives of the local people as well as the wildlife. For now, Belize is trying to embrace both wide roads and wild rivers, which won't be easy. for no one knows what remains ahead, out of sight, beyond the bend in the river.